Hello guys, welcome back. In this video we're talking about iOS 26.1, the first big update to iOS 26, and I will let you know everything that I suggest you know before you update your iPhone to the new iOS 26.1, whether you're planning to update to the beta or to the public release, which is coming very soon. This is an awesome update that brings a ton of new features and changes, but it also improves performance a lot and offers a bit of better battery life. Starting off with the release, I think this is the first thing you need to know about iOS 26.1. The release should actually be really soon, as we're currently on the third beta, and most .1 updates don't have a ton of betas. We are either expecting another beta or no beta at all, and Apple moves straight to the RC version. In that case, if they don't release another beta, then the next week, the 20th of October, will be the day Apple releases the RC version. If that doesn't happen and they actually push another beta, which would be beta 4, then we will get that on the 20th, and the 27th will be the date Apple releases the RC version. In that case, the public release of iOS 26.1 will happen on November the 3rd, which should be the date you get this update on your device. Again, if Apple doesn't release another beta but goes straight to the RC from beta 3, then the 20th will be the RC release, and the 27th of October should be the date Apple releases iOS 26.1 to the public. Now let's talk about the size of the update, and why this is important is because you need to have quite a lot of free storage on your device to update to iOS 26.1. This has been different on various devices, with different reports and screenshots showing some people getting it at 2 or 3 gigabytes, while on my device, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, it came in at 1247 GB, which is really huge. This might depend on the device and also on which software you currently have installed, but it tends to be quite big. As you probably know with iOS 26, since the early betas, every update has been quite large in size and will require a lot of free storage, so in my opinion you should have at least 20 GB of free storage before you try to update to iOS 26.1. Another thing you need to know is that there will be 2 different updating processes based on which software you currently have on your device. If you're on iOS 26 or 26.1, it will be very simple. All you have to do is head to Settings, go to General Settings, then Software Update, and you're good to go. But if you're on any of the betas, things will be different. So if you're currently on beta 3 and Apple releases the RC, you can just update right here to the RC, meaning you already have the public release of iOS 26.1, because the RC released to developers and public testers is the exact same update that will be released to the public. Once this goes out to the public, you won't get an update because you already have the RC, and that's the exact same update, so you no longer need to install the public update, and it won't even appear here. If you're currently on beta 3 or beta 4 if they release it, and you don't want to update to the RC but just want to update to the public release, you can head to the software updates section, go to beta updates and turn them off so you don't get the RC, and then you'll get the public release once it's out and can update directly from here. Another thing you need to know is the battery life, which has been okay on iOS 26.1, and on my device with battery health at 88%, the battery usage shows 9 hours and 13 minutes with 39% usage, 8 hours with all 19%, 7 hours and 33 minutes with all 15%, which is actually not that bad. I would say it's maybe 2 to 3% better than iOS 26 with this latest beta, so it's okay, and there's no need to worry about battery draining when you update to this software. One of the best things about iOS 26.1 will be its performance, as everything is super smooth and very fast. The Geekbench score shows 3006 on the single-core score, which is the best score I got with this device on any iOS software version, and the multi-core score is great as well at 7678, which is an excellent result for iOS 26.1 Beta 3. As far as new features, there are a ton of them on iOS 20.1, starting with the glass effect on the dock, which looks amazing. There are changes on the Photos app where the menu is different with share, favorite, and delete buttons at the top, and a new way to scrub between videos, which is really cool. On Apple Music, you can now swipe to skip on the title of a song, which is really amazing. One feature I really like is under Display and Brightness, where you can now enable Show Border, which will display a border on UI elements with the liquid glass design, making it easier for people to notice all the elements, and it applies to the dock as well, which is really amazing and many people will find it very useful. We also have the glass design on the phone app and on the pop-up you get on the lock screen when customizing your clock, along with a ton of other features like more languages for live translations and more languages for Apple Intelligence, so it's packed with new features and changes. The last thing you need to know in this video is what's next for iOS 26. As I said, in just a few days we're expecting iOS 26.1 to be released to the public, and in the meantime we will get iOS 26.22, which is being tested by Apple and confirmed to be released this week. Once iOS 26.1 is out, which will be either the 27th or in my opinion most likely the 3rd of November, then in a matter of days we will also get the first beta of iOS 26.2, which has to go through a few beta stages and will be released before the holidays in December. This is the timeline of the new releases from Apple and how I expect things to roll out and be released to the public. So that's basically it for this video. I hope